Okay, hello. So I would like to talk about GDPR 101 for developers. I'm Krzysztof Grain. You can find me there. I'm developer in Silio. And I will start with what GDPR is. General Data Protection Regulation. There is the regulation for European countries and all the companies that are based in the EU and all companies that have customers from Europa has to follow the whole regulation. It passed in spring 2016 and it must be fully respected from 25th of May 2018. So we have 1 month and few weeks to do so. And what is the personal data that we are talking about? So is there any information that allow us to identify the person directly and indirectly? So it's the same case that we have with our DNA in Silio. So we can use number, identification number, any location data, and the GDPR adds the whole online notification that we can use, like IP address, mobile device address, and whole numbers then we can fetch from the users. And why it's so important? It's really important because the European countries and the European companies can pay a lot of money if they are not following these regulations, up to 4% of global turnover or 20 million euros, which is the highest fine that you can pay. Obviously, if the company is small enough, it won't be like as much as you can see in here, but 4% of global turnover per year is still a big amount. So what we can do to avoid that and what we should do in our systems, and I think notify our clients that they are not aware of. So first step is, if we have any data breaches and any data leak, we have to inform our users 72 hours. We have 72 hours to inform them when we are aware of the leak. So now if there is any data leak, we cannot do anything. Now we are like forced to do so. And if any data was really personal, we have to do it right away. So there is no 72 hours delay. And with data processing, so every data that we store about the user, now we can store every data that you would like to, even we are not using that. Now we have to not only store the data that we only need in that particular case. So let's say we need name and address, and we don't need interest to do anything in our system. So we are not allowed to store it. We can ask them about that, but we cannot store it. So it's pointless to even ask them. And the retention thing is, let's say that we run the coffee shop and someone orders something in our system. As soon as we don't need the data about the user, we have to delete it. So let's say that if the package was delivered to them, we have to anonymize or delete the information about their address, their names, and their credit cards. There is the tricky one that can be easily bypassed by the smart users. So we have to now check if the user is older than 16 years old. If not, we have to ask their parents about permission. It's tricky. It can be like a data check, or are you more than 16? And yeah, we cannot check it anyhow, but if we still have to use something like that in our system. And there is the most famous thing from GDPR is right to be forgotten for the user. So in our system should be a button, then user can click that, and all information about him should be removed from our system. And it's tricky for us, for developers, because we also have to delete all foraging keys that belongs to that user. Not only information about him, but every resource that was created by him, or there is some information, even the user ID that was previously assigned to him, we have to delete it as well. And also, if we notify third-party companies or we send the user data to third-party companies, we have to delete them as well, or give them the notification, okay, this user would like to be forgotten in our system, so it means you have to erase all information that we sent to you as well. And also, if we are the API, or we create the API, we have to make the API endpoint forgive me public and give it into README and documentation that anyone can access that. REST processing is something similar to forgive me, but the user can still be in the system, but he cannot be visible in any searches. He cannot be processed by our systems. We are not sending him email about our offer, and we are not showing his profile and his information on the public pages, and also the third party as well. So should be user on his profile should have a link not only forgive me, but also that he would like to be restricted. It means that not only for us, but also let's say that our admins access the list of users of our application. So each user that is restricted or would like to be restricted should be marked as restricted, and his information should be hidden for that person, if it's like admin or data developer. And there is the next thing that should be on our user profile page is user should have ability to see everything that is about him on our pages. So it's almost the same thing as forgive me or ability to be forgotten, but we have to display in human readable format that all information about him. So what we have about him, I think that Facebook recently did that, or it did it a few times, like few months ago, but now it was famous that you can access everything that Facebook has about you. So they are trying to be really good with the GDPR. And also you can export the same data that you can see on the screen. You should have ability to export it in JSON, XML, on CSV, or any other format that you would like to do. And also is now we have the button, I accept the terms and conditions, that is no longer sufficient to that user allows us to process their data. It's not because no one even read that. So there is pointless to do so. So now for each process of the user data, let's say you would like to process address for orders. So it should be the separate checkbox for that you would use his address for the order, and every process that we would like to take the user data and process it should be added to their profile through registration. So we cannot do anything if users are not allowing us to do, and checkboxes should be pre-selected by default, because if it's selected by default and user just click submit, it doesn't come as consent agreement of user. And there is last thing, which was I think the easiest for developers to do, is user profile should be editable. So it means that you can change everything that we have about the user, but it's not only including the data that we would like to display to user. It means every data that we have about the user. So if we fetch his data from Facebook or any other third-party service like Twitter, we have to give him ability to edit that as well. So there should be no data that user can edit. It should be noted that user cannot edit on his page when we have the information about him. Okay, dobra, dziękuję. Dziękuję bardzo.